You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene and Bowie TV. Washington Commanders versus Detroit Lions game recap. Oh man, what a great day! What a great day! I'm Wole, and I'm joined by one of the best Commanders reporters in the game, in the business, founder of CWall Sports and Entertainment and Bowie TV's Candi Waller. What's going on, Candi?
Hello.
I know. That's right. Candy's exhausted. She's done a lot. She was in Detroit.
I'm trying not to look like what I'm going through right now, but it's not really working.
She was in Detroit, man. She was in Detroit. She was there doing. I call it God's work. You know what I mean? Reporting this team is God's work. That's what I'm talking about. It's a Sunday and it's God's work. And but last night in the NFC Divisional round of the playoffs, the Commanders shocked the world, like Muhammad Ali used to do back in the day. Shocked the world and put foot to ass on the Detroit Lions, 45-31. Before we talk about the game, let's knock out some logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene and Bowie TV YouTube channels. Hit that red subscribe button. Also, like this video. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, let's get right into it. Candi, first off, I gotta ask you this, man. We saw a gruesome injury to guard Sam Cosmi. Any update on him?
Not any update just yet on Sam Cosmi. We do meet. We are still on for our regularly scheduled day after the game press conference with Dan Quinn, which happens the day after. Sometimes, I was thinking maybe he'll be like, wait till Monday, but nope. Press conference is still on for today, the day after the game at 3:30. So I guess we'll find out more then. I did see a glimpse of Sam, Sam Cosmi, but he was headed out early. Not early. It was after the game. I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. It was after the game, but he was, headed out before we could really engage him.
I hope he dodges scared. It didn't look good. It did not look good. So first off, we just prayers out to Sam Cosmi. Very valuable to this team. Valuable to this team. To me, the best offensive lineman. Plays with a grit. Plays with physicality. I just love his growth here in DC with this team. So Candi, first off, Candi, what was the team like after the game, man? We just talked about this team whooped up on the Lions 25-31. A lot of folks had the Lions on the flip side doing this to the Commanders, but the Commanders did that to them. We saw a bunch of videos and pics on social media from the Commanders social media team. It looked real lit, but you were there with the players and coaches. How was the vibe?
It was definitely lit. It was definitely lit, and I can be kind of standoffish now when it's lit, because I'm like, every stadium staff, team staff has their own process. Yeah. So of course, while locker room may be open, there's also press conferences going on at the same time. Right, so Jayden spoke, Brian Robinson Jr. spoke, Mikey Samerstill did his scrum in the locker room, and of course Coach Quinn speaks. So it's kind of like, where do you want to go? It splits your time. Or if you just want to see people, I will tell you, Magic Johnson was there, Coach Gibbs was there. Coach Gibbs, that is a happy man right there. Okay? I mean, the ownership is happy, but Coach Gibbs was like, you wanted to walk up on Coach Gibbs and talk like you've been talking to him all day. He was gonna talk to you.
You got to talk to Coach Jesus.
Yeah. Yes, Wole.
I love Coach Jesus, man. That's my.
I talked to him several times. You've never talked to him, or
I've never talked to Coach Jesus.
This is why I'm gonna end up making you come back out on site. Coach Jesus be there, and Coach Jesus was there. He was glowing. He was beaming. And then KD was there because they were playing.
Yeah, he said that. He said
so he was there. And with his, B-Rob jersey on, it was crazy. It was just everybody. And so it was kind of like the only place that wasn't lit, of course, because it's the press room, was like the press room. So you had to questions and be,
the press room be like.
But locker room hallway was like
that's
very happy people.
Dang, you've gotten the opportunity to speak to Coach Jesus. This is amazing.
Yeah, how did you not know that? Okay, I'm gonna mess your head up. I'm gonna send you something.
Oh, yeah, please. Nah, man. Like Coach Jesus, when I was there, Coach Jesus wasn't around. Like he wouldn't be around. He was around, but he wasn't like
not like
out there. So he out there now.
I interviewed him at
you interviewed Coach Jesus.
Yes, it's Super Bowl Atlanta. It's Super Bowl Atlanta.
Tough, man. Coach Jesus is amazing.
He's amazing, and he was just. I mean, you think about it, and it's interesting that you mentioned that, right? Because to that point of he wasn't around. Look at how much he's been around this season. I'm talking about even before the season, right? Like coming to OTAs, coming to training camps, coming to speak to the team, all of that stuff. And Coach Gibbs has been through a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And losing his sons. He has been through some painful life circumstances and occurrences. And he's written books. He has a lot of, just all those things that speak of, his relationship with God and purpose and all of those things. If you've never read them, I highly recommend, because I have some of his books, and he's just amazing. And I'm talking about the hugs with the ownership and the pictures with everybody. I mean, he was just, and you see, a Kevin Durant almost turn into a kid and a fan when he sees Coach Gibbs, like, oh, this Coach Gibbs. I heard him say, ran right over there. I'm like, yo, where am I? I'm gonna just stand out here and because I'm still in work mode.
Yeah.
There's a couple times, which I'm sure we'll get to that at some point, that I definitely, I'm poker face trained for the most part, but there was definitely a couple times last night where I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna win. They're really about to win this game.
I know, it's crazy. Randall Martin says, "Hello, Steve. I'm no longer in Atlanta. I moved to Tampa to get ready for the retirement. I had a great run with 85 South Commanders fan club Atlanta." So, well,
I mean, hey, that's great. What's up? And it's good to hear from you. And last weekend was a good weekend in Tampa for Commanders fans. So I hope you enjoyed it. Was able to attend or just be around. That's great.
Yeah. Paul, question from Paul. Candi, did you hear the Commander fans chanting defense last night?
We did. That stadium is incredible. Whatever you've heard about the vibe, I have never been in an environment like that. You all may typically see me post about, light shows, pregame, the excitement and everything. But Ford Field, the Detroit line, they have that piece of it nailed down. Yeah. And you all may hear me, kind of rating press boxes. That's a dope press box because it's in the trenches. You're in the air, but it's not like the Saints press box because it's not as high.
Got you.
Right, and you can see still. You're in it. What I did discover last night. This is part of me being authentic and transparent. This is why you want to tune in to me. I tell things. I share things. It's like once I figured out, like, oh, if not saying I did, but if I were to cheer in this press box, nobody would hear me. Nobody would hear me.
You said if. Not if. She did, and she did not. And she did not.
I were to, I would not be heard. Yeah. So that was definitely
a bonus.
A bonus, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I can see how this could work out in our favor. so I can see how this is a little quick experiment to see what could happen if
say Quan Martin had a pick six. I could cheer here.
If Quan Martin had a pick six right in front of you and you said, OMG, Quan's about to catch it. Yeah. OMG, he didn't just fall down. He's still running. Oh my God, he's about to score a touchdown. and you happen to say it out loud and said it with your chest, nobody's going to hear you.
Hey, Mama Waller.
Hey, Mama Waller.
Happy Sunday.
And let me just say, Mama Waller is one of the people from the beginning that said this is what she saw from this team. And I'm like, Mama,
did she really?
Mama Waller, I ain't gonna tell you what her prediction. I'm gonna wait.
No, yeah, wait.
We doing no predict. We doing that, but she just has seen it. Seen it. And so, yeah, I was testing out a lot of theories apparently.
Okay.
And I got it was a lot. I mean, but it was also sensory overload for me. Like, it was beautiful. I mean, it was lights and it's music. And then every time they scored, everything happened. It was fireworks inside. And, you know, some of your favorite GM and assistant GM actually saw my reaction to some of the fireworks. And I think they thought it was pretty hilarious.
Before I get into, I'm going to be a fanboy. Before I get into Paul, what Paul said, all right, so like, how close are y'all to Magic Johnson? If anybody knows me, Magic Johnson is like my idol in life. That is like one of my idols. That is my idol in life.
Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna ask a clarifying question. Yeah. When you say how close we are, what do you mean?
Are you talking to? Are y'all talking to Magic Johnson?
Yes. The last 2 weeks.
I may come back.
I did not. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but like last night, again, another dope moment. Magic Johnson sees guess who? Guess who he saw? He saw DA. He saw David Aldridge.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
He calls out David Aldridge like he just saw his long lost brother. He was so happy to see David Aldridge. So all the things were like, yo, I talked to that's my boy. I just put him on the show with me. He was trying to talk to me about something, and I was like, just come here so everybody can see you. Magic loves DA. And so, but can we talk to him? Absolutely. Last week he was out there, he was taking questions, he did a statement. I went to Terry's press conference, so I didn't stay out there for the statement, but we got some footage of he and Terry. But he was there last night. And he was in there with his fellow owners. That's very dope.
Happy. I may be back for Magic. I won't lie. For Magic, I'd come back for Magic. That's my guy, folks. Everybody, if you know me, you know.
You don't realize, like,
if you know me, you know.
Like, oh, they're really here. They're really in here. Yes.
That's wild, man. That's wild. So Paul had a question. He says, "Can he do the best reporters of the teams trash talk each other?"
You know, it's touch and go.
Okay. I like how you said that, but go ahead.
You know, if there was anyone that did that, it would probably be me or one of the people. You know, everybody else is, you know, I if it were me, I may or may not tell other reporters what is transpiring.
Yeah, exactly.
I am, you know, taking the high road at times. I think there was only one low road moment for me. If it were me, there would have been one low moment. I already told myself there was one low moment for me.
Just one, okay.
Like that was like, you can't see what's happening right there. Oh, they cheating. And it was actually a game that the Commanders ended up winning. I won't go into specifics, but sometimes people hear, you know how the
I know how it works.
Set up at Northwest, you know how it's set up there. So if someone hears you talking, they proceed to engage themselves in your conversation, and it was just more of a like.
Oh yeah, I know how it works. It's crazy.
You can pick anybody in here. Don't pick me. Spoiler alert.
Don't come for me. Don't come for me. You don't get the right one. That's how I like the term. Not the wrong one. You don't get the right one.
Everybody on this side going leap when I jump. Yeah. So don't even do that.
I love that.
So leave me out of that. But anyway.
I will say that, like, typically I know Kendall's like, you ready?
I come in peace. Now, if it was an opportunity, it would have been last week, but the inside was
Was it calm trash talking?
Well, I mean, what I don't think. No, he doesn't. No. He's business always.
I'm about to say because he never like I barely seen him. Yeah, I'm about to say even when I was there, he's real business. He's real business.
Yeah, if it were to happen, it would be me.
I was like, I know I used to get irked when because you weren't back then. I mean, no one's supposed to cheer in the press box,
You're
right?
not
Like,
supposed to do that.
they're
No.
not supposed to cheer at
No.
all. Cheer at all. So
Absolutely.
I'll get irked when I just sit back and you be kind of seeing like the visitors be kind of like the visitors typically kind of cheer on the low, like they cheer. And I used to get irked. I was like, and then so you not like I wouldn't like respond, but then when something happened and you let it be known. You know what I mean? If it happens on your side or your favor, you let it be known, but you do it in a subtle way. Like that's always the way I used to do things. I used to do it subtly to a point where I was like, yeah, what's all that? What's the energy at now? Kind of like, but yeah, it depends. Certain reporters kind of like, to your point, they they take that extra oomph.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the staff was really great. The PR staff, if folks were really great in Tampa, but there was definitely, I think I shared that with y'all. It was
you shared that one.
Some ruckus in there. I was just like, this is bizarre. But I didn't say nothing back, like I said.
Well, no. You were good, like you're classy, man. You're classy.
I'm super classy until I'm not. But then when I'm not, I reel myself. I come back.
Look, man, Ken's professional. You're professional. We're not having anybody. We ain't doing that over here. Ken's professional. All right, we're putting that out here. She's professional. All right, let's get into the game. So, Teddy, obviously, this game had a lot of ebbs and flows and whatnot. But for you, what was the turning point in this game for the Commanders?
Quan's pick six. I mean, I think the two moments that really just had me. Terry's touchdown.
Yeah. That was dope too, yeah.
Oh man, oh my gosh, because it was kind of like one of those things where it's like these are all the things that you talk about, through the years. That's been a common topic, right? Is Terry McLaurin number one receiver? Is he this? Is he that? And this is another person that I can tell by the way that they're dressed that what type of time. And so I was some things that I noticed yesterday in the arrivals that I didn't want to bring up in the pregame because I was like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? But I had noticed a trend amongst much of the offense and the team. They were wearing all black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they were real quiet. Oddly quiet. And I was like, they on demon time.
Oh, yeah.
So I get it, right? And so when Terry made that play, of course, Jayden throws him a dime. He stiff armed somebody. And I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't that. He broke a tackle. Like he broke it, right? I mean, because the guy, the player, he went for his feet. We've historically seen Terry fall on. We don't see him break out of that often.
Yeah. And
so I was like, oh, Terry McLaurin, just wow. Right. We had a good conversation. We had a Can we talk our talk for a minute, Terry?
Yeah, go.
Can we talk our talk? Let me put this phone up. Ain't nobody recording. Let's talk our talk, like how we talk. And I ain't even gonna call you Terry 17. Come all at me in my
17.
Office.
That's what we call it. 17.
I want you to come talk to me in my office. He was like, "Oh, I'm in your office now." I was like, "Yeah, in my office." Listen, okay. And so it was dope. But the pick six, that did it.
Yeah, that was it. Like the pick six to me was
pick six and Mikey's picking the red zone.
Yeah, Mikey was, and we don't get to all of that because there was so much, man.
Mike, because
it's so much, man.
About Mikey being back in Michigan.
I know. You remember that? Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, he gonna act up. Oh, he gonna act."
Oh, he was on one, man.
He gonna be on one in here.
Yeah, he was on one. But yeah, let's see some of this stuff. You know what? Let me jump into something that Denise said. Them three interceptions. So like you said, you on the Allberg and Go everything pregame show, you were like 3 I want my 3.
I'm gonna say that.
Candy, they said screw that 3, Candy.
We getting 5.
We getting 5. We getting you 5, and we give you a pick 6. Candy, talk about when you saw that, like what went through your mind, because you've been preaching this the whole season. So
the whole entire season, this. I say it on my show, said it on your show. Those that watch your shows or watch my show, they know I've been saying it all season long. And you've been listening to the press conferences. I literally have asked about this question. I've asked about this goal. I'm the kind of reporter who, once the team says publicly the goals that they have, I'm gonna hold you to those goals. And a pick six, Denise, is when a player gets an interception and runs it back for a touchdown. Player on the opposing team. So when Quan Martin, number 20 of the Washington Commanders on defense, it's a safety. When he caught that football and then ran it back for a touchdown, that's so I'm gonna hold you to that. Now, the great thing is the Washington Commanders were winning football games without meeting that goal.
True, facts.
But I would always say, and you all have heard me say this, but one day, if they don't get that goal, they're going to lose. They need to get this goal if they want to win this football game. I remember one day that Coach Quinn told me, well, it's a lofty goal. And in my mind, I'm like, no, it's not. No, it ain't. As you saw last night, it's not a lofty goal at all. Because not only did they get the 3, they got 5, right? So that is a turning point. And why also is a turning point? It's an opportunity to get points on the board. It's an opportunity to really showcase that complementary football, get the football back, control that time of possession.
Yep, you said that too.
How else will the team? I said, listen, the Lions in a loss gave you 31. You people been asking me all week, what do they do to contain the offense? What do they do to get the aggressiveness of the Lions offense? Keep them off the field. Because they're going to execute. They're that good.
Yeah,
they're that good that even in mistakes, because that's still impressive. 5 turnovers
and still 31 points.
31. That's super impressive.
Yeah,
super impressive. So that's not, lofty goal at all. And you saw in these moments, in these trenches, when you are playing the number 1 seed that they earned. The Detroit Lions earned their number 1 seed. But if you want to beat them, you got to put points up and you got to get them off the field because they are going to execute every time they have the football. So, I was posting, takeaway 1, here we go. Takeaway 2, takeaway 3. At that point, I was just like, and how much time left on the clock? Once I saw it had been 3 takeaways in, I said, we got a whole nother half to go.
Yeah.
They in the bonus round now. That's exactly what I said. I said
they said in the bonus round.
I said because they got that 3, and they got the 3 on this Lions offense. I said Cliff is in his bag, which is something else that I told you all along. I said,
we'll talk about Cliff too.
It's going to be in his bag. I know we're going to get to that, but that defense. Get the ball back, create havoc. And that's what they did. Make them pay for mistakes. That's what they did.
I like how you got me going. Like, look, I had an order of questions, but we bouncing off because you hitting out topics that need to be discussed off the rip. And we got my man, He-Man said Cliff prepared his team better. Execution was on point. So, Candi, let's get in some Cliff talk, man. Demon Time Cliff. That's what I'm calling him Demon Time Cliff. Cliff Kingsbury probably wanted to. We talked about this, Candi, that we thought that Cliff Kingsbury probably wanted to outperform or outcoach offensive coordinator Ben Johnson for the Lions, because obviously, Ben Johnson's been tied to head coaching jobs. He's been deemed the guru of offense in today's NFL. He's supposed to be him when it comes to offensive OCs. But do you think Cliff's motivation, because we know Cliff is a motivated dude, he's a competitor. Do you think Cliff's motivation led to the Commanders putting up 38 points on offense against the Detroit Lions? We all know about Quan Martin's pick six that gave him 7, but his offense scored 38 points on the Lions. Do you feel like that motivation played a part into what this team did? Not just that he's a good offensive coordinator, but also the motivation to show the world that him.
Absolutely. I mean, and not only that, in showing the world, and this is for each one of them, anyone who may be looking at another job or whatever, the job's not done. So the more that he's showing that he's him, potentially he can be satisfied with the end result. Be comfortable enough to potentially move on. If you understand what I'm saying. They win a Super Bowl, then, because I guess we can have that conversation now. But if that were to happen, right? If that were to happen, he could say, you know what? Job's done. Got, in a year back, got a Super Bowl, I can move on. You know what I mean? But I don't know either. Let me be clear on that. But this is a group of competitors across the board, right? Cliff Kingsbury had been written off. Let's be all clear.
Yes,
there were fan base members, there were media members that was like, they went and called Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, I was one of them too. I ain't gonna lie, I was one of them. Yeah.
He don't know this, he don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really think about it, Cliff been kind of low under the radar.
Very.
Really. He's been very much low under the radar with Jayden Daniels performing the way that he has.
Yeah.
Cliff hasn't been really getting any credit for that. Nobody's been talking about Cliff.
True. I agree with that. I think he deserves a little more.
Nobody's giving him any credit for Jayden's performance or just the piece of, I told someone a while back, and I may have said this on one of you all show. You have to understand that it takes a team. Jayden, I saw that Jayden said this on one of the shows after the game. His offensive coaching staff, it takes all of them. Jayden always gonna thank God, but he also gonna thank his offensive coaching staff. Hello, Cliff Kingsbury is one of those people. Okay. And it takes the kind of structure it takes to build that in which you see on a Sunday. Cliff ain't, and let's be clear. Somebody got to be like, hey, wait a minute. Anybody see what we doing over here with this rookie?
Yep.
Has completely written Cliff off. And to an extent could be, and look at how much attention turned to Cliff during that losing streak.
Yeah, because they're waiting for his failure.
A lot of attention that went to Cliff. And I remember being one of the few saying, I don't think this is all on Cliff, everybody. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. You were.
Jayden was injured during that time. Jayden was injured during that time. And I had some more so questions on defense than I did on offense. So that was always I don't think this is all Cliff now. Come on, everybody. Like, come on. Right. But no better way to show who's the top dog than to beat the top dog.
That's what I'm saying. Like you said,
I said it. I said he's got to be who
he got to be him right now.
Cincinnati. I said Arizona Cardinals game, week 4, Cliff. That's who he has to be. Back against the wall, 3-game losing streak. Cliff against the Titans. He's got to bring the smoke with him in the building. And here's what's interesting. That 4th and 1, they gave it to Marcus. When it came out there, when Marcus came out there, everybody knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. It was almost like they did that on purpose. Like, let me see what type of time y'all on there. Because Marcus comes out here on a 4th and 1. You already know we're giving the ball to Marcus.
Yeah.
It was almost like, I'm going to give you this one. I'm going to give you this. After that, changed the whole tone of the game. The Lions defense wasn't really ready for anything else they did after that.
Everyone ready for it. I'm not sure. I was still pissed off at that play, but it is what it is. But it worked out.
I think it was a risk, but everybody knew.
Yeah. There was confusion too. Absolutely.
Yeah. But once Marcus came out there, it was like, all right, they're gonna give him the ball, Marcus.
Yeah.
And they just shut that down immediately. But after that, it was like, and remember what I told you on Friday before I went to the airport.
Yeah.
And you kind of saw it last night. Cliff gonna come in with his glasses on, but when he was on that sideline without the glasses, you could tell. Him looked like his eyes. You could tell he hadn't been asleep.
Yeah,
he hadn't been getting any sleep, and it's not because he was stressed. He's not stressed at all. It's just the dedication, the purpose, the energy, wanting to win this football game, and understanding what it takes to win football games at this level, and. He was. I told the man we was walking. He was bumping into stuff. He just looking at his sheet. I'm like, okay, Cliff. Let me not joke with him today. I'll wait till next week. So yeah,
Cliff was definitely in his bag. Paul said, nice. There was another question about. I had a question about Cliff. Here we go from Ellison. Said, hey, Candi, these are good problems to have, but do you think that they lose Cliff or Newmark, to Vegas or anywhere else?
Here's the thing. When you're winning, you're gonna get called.
Yeah, they are. That's just like he said, it's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. I think it ends. I think it will come down to how the season ends for the Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Does it end at the NFC Championship? Does it end at the Super Bowl? Does it end with them being Super Bowl champions? Because those are your only three options right now. You got three options, right? You're going to end at the NFC Championship, right? You're going to end at the Super Bowl, which means you are NFC champions, but you lost in the Super Bowl, or this ends as you being a Super Bowl champion. And it depends on what the goal is and what the job, when you say the job is not done. What does that mean? Because the reality is job done is at this point, you made it this far, it's the Super Bowl. It is abundantly clear. Hey, you know about it. What they doing? Well, I think they told everybody what they're doing.
All right.
Being real clear, using your clues, they've been told us what type of time that they were on. We just thought they were lunching, or we thought they were tripping.
We thought they were tripping.
I will tell you, I owe Adam Peterson an apology right now. And we laughed and joked, from a distance, but I remember there was somebody told me that he made a comment, and this is again the transparency in which I share, which oh gosh, if we were ever to have an NFC Championship or anything that's happened, we got to make the media annex larger. We got to do this to do that. And it's like, well, I ain't planning for that now. And I started laughing. I was like, I know he's ambitious. Everybody around here is very ambitious, and I appreciate that. That helps me with my ambition. But come on, you ain't going to no NFC Championship. You playing? It's nice though. Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. It seems good right now.
I mean, I was saying it out loud to myself, and I was just like, what? So, yeah, my bad, Adam. I'll tell him later.
Yeah, Adam is definitely.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm sorry, Adam.
I'm laughing at you now.
No, that's right. Paul got a question for you, Candi. Paul said, when the Lions started, he had a comment. Candi, when the Lions started doing trick plays, they were shook.
Who was shook?
The Lions. When the Lions started doing trick plays, you knew they were shook. The Lions.
They had to do trick plays. Yes. When Jared went out.
Yeah.
On the Frankie Louisville hit, when he had to be evaluated for a concussion on that pick six, and to be fair, Frankie's media scrum, Frankie said he didn't know who he hit. He just saw blue and was like, "Bow." Oh.
Cause he that dude, man. He had that honorary oos. Go ahead, sorry. He the oos. Go ahead.
And so when he said that, I was like, let me get out of this crown, because I was laughing, and I shouldn't have done that. That might have been a little unprofessional. But it was, but to know, it's like I had no idea who it was. Mm-hmm. I just saw blue and silver. Get them out of the way. Quan, do your thing. And so that's what happened. And when that happened, and I will be honest, I'm now watching. It's so interesting. Mama Waller told me the way you was talking to a lot, I thought they was losing. I'm like, which game is she watching? Look, I'm not gonna I got to do what I'm here to do, and that's remain objective. And I see something, I'm gonna say something, like they say on the Metro. If you see something, you gotta say something. And I'm like, wait a minute, this defense struggles against backup quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. But when I saw that trick play, I said, "Oh, Ben done dug deep. Ben went deep in the bag for that one. Mm-hmm. He was getting beat.
Yeah,
he was smoked.
Yeah,
he knew it. He was because none of what happened. Let's all keep it a buck. Yeah. Nothing that happened, nothing that we watched last night was supposed to happen. None of that was supposed to happen. The Commanders wasn't supposed. I mean, I knew that they were capable of that. I understand goals and what they're able to do and all of those things. But I'm talking about from a world perspective. And even I said the way in which the Commanders offense executed in that defense, the way they turned that up a notch, it remains to be seen if they left that all on the field and if they're going to be able to replicate this at least two more times. Well, you got to do it at least, at the maximum 2 more, right? To get the same result. I mean, That's when I knew. I said, oh, they had to go deep because that was good. That was an excellent trick play. But that let me know that they were in panic mode. Like, wait a minute, this the season right here.
Yeah. It definitely was. Paul has a good question, but it's about Dyami, my guy Dyami Brown. Dyami Brown had 98 yards. For the folks who said Dyami Brown could be a number 2, kind of another great game for Dyami back to back, 98 yards. Had more targets than Terry McLaurin, which is a wild thing to even think about. But Candi, Paul said, Candi, the development of Dyami Brown by this coaching staff is outstanding. Speak on this progress from training camp till now.
You know, as I mentioned in a previous shows, you know, when I would zoomed in on that wide receiver group, because I was like, even I told you, I said, well, I don't think Jahan makes it. I don't think Jahan makes it with this staff. Something is off here. It's not something is off here. It was always Terry McLaurin and everybody else. Okay, who's going to emerge? Because somebody, once you get in these trenches, somebody has to emerge. And in this season, we've seen Olamide be it. We've seen Jamison Crowder be it. And in these here playoffs, it's been Dyami Brown. And Dyami had a drop early in the game, right? But
Paul got knocked out of his hands. Everybody's so
was a drop, but that was one of the things that I asked Coach about is what are some of the things that this team does well that doesn't show up on the stat sheet? They physical, and that's one of the things that I put in my notes for when the non-season comes, because we don't really call it the off season anymore. I've learned that from the smart people that are now in the building. They call it the non-season because they're never really off. They're always working. So it's the physicality of it all. Right? Because the team in some aspects does struggle against a physical Eagles defense, right?
Oh, that's good. That's a good point.
Physicality of the Lions defense. So Dyami had it, but the play made a heck of a play.
Yeah, that's why I
like that. Play on him.
Yeah.
He didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. And I saw a comment, I think, come through about Quan Martin, right? Some of these players, right?
It was earlier,
This coaching staff, it goes back to a point that was so key early on. I remember asking Coach Kingsbury this in his opening presser, which was about utilizing the talent on his roster, offensive roster. And it was about, we're going to do what they're good at. Whatever their unique skill sets are, we're going to maximize that. We're going to highlight that. We're going to showcase that. And they are just highlighting and illuminating who Dyami is. If you're, again, using your clues, Coach Quinn has mentioned Dyami Brown since training camp. One of the players they really, really like a lot. His name has come up all throughout training camp, all throughout this season. Hadn't seen it. It's the playoffs. And here's the thing. They knew and know what Dyami is capable of, but everybody watching the film did not. That's why you see so much utilization on Dyami.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, because everybody outside. Yeah, you're right. Because they haven't seen it. They don't know what he can do. No, because they've kept him under wraps. This is true.
They paid attention to 17, and 17 still out there smoking people.
Yeah. You can stop at 17. You can try. You can't stop. Nobody stopping 17 for real.
17 on demon time for sure.
Yeah, he on demon time this postseason. Took that screen and took it to the house. But yeah, to like what you're saying and what Paul is talking about, the growth. I just feel like, and we said this, we talked about it too a little bit in the pregame when you were on. It's just something about like confidence, man. Like Cliff, and this is why I'm giving Cliff flowers, man. I think he deserves it. Cliff has unleashed Dyami, but not just unleashed, but unleashed the ability of the trait of confidence. That's what he's given Dyami, because it's easy when you had your first couple of years in the league, when you don't produce, you start to be like, man, this is it. Maybe this is me. Maybe this is what all I can be.
I can do.
You know what I mean? Right. You know what I mean? And then you got a coach and a staff that believes in you and says, no, you the dude that they drafted out of North Carolina. Like, no, you got that ability. Like, we're gonna bring it out of you. We're gonna put you in the best situation so folks can know who Dyami Brown really is. And I'm glad, like, once they got Dyami involved and rolling, you're getting to see the fruits of his labor. You're getting to see the fruits of their labor. You know what I mean? But the most important thing, I think, of anything, of all athletes, what this coaching staff has done is they instill confidence in this young man. And they've done it for everybody too, right? Like you said, they've done it for like Quan Martin. They've done it for a lot of players on this team. But somebody for like, I mentioned the reason why I'm going to like harp on De'Ami Brown is this a person that a lot of folks, some experts, because I've heard it on like other shows in the off season, in the beginning of the season. I mean, in the off season before the season started, talking about players who they thought may get cut, who weren't going to make the team, and De'Ami was high on their list. And then he went from being high on their list from those people who perceive themselves as experts or whatever, to a dude that's now not only the number 2 wide receiver on the team, but a guy that they're really, really relying on down the stretch.
Yeah. And in anything that happened in the game didn't say, here's one thing that I respect so much about this coaching staff. And I'm learning because it's actually something that I wouldn't do, but they've done it and it's been successful and proven successful. Yeah. When something isn't working with a player, like if drops, okay, maybe De'Ami dropped this, or Olamide dropped this, or Zach dropped this, or even B-Rob, right? They don't quit on them. They don't quit on them.
That's true.
They don't quit on them.
Yeah.
Because Brian Robinson Jr. had a heck of a game too.
He had a great game. You want to talk? Let's go in. Let's transition there. Transition because he was getting a lot of flack.
Absolutely.
Some folks and we talked about I want Christian Rodriguez out there, not to start over B-Rob, but I want him out there to get an opportunity as well. Another option. Another option. If B-Rob is struggling, then you can just put him in or whatever. Right. But I've never given up on B-Rob, and I'm glad they didn't either. And I felt like that was the old B-Rob. I said this before.
That's Brian Robinson Jr.
That's Brian Robinson Jr. I felt like he was worried about his fumbles a little bit too much because that bad game he had when he's fumbled the football. We haven't seen the real B-Rob since then. I think now, he's kind of scrapped that out of his mindset, and now you're seeing the real B-Rob because he ran with fire, he ran with intention. That was B-Rob. Can you talk about his performance?
Absolutely. Off the break, first rep, his number was called. That's Brian Robinson Jr. I literally said it on the press. I said B-Rob is back. There he is. Yeah, it got B-Rob, and I think I may have said this on the pregame where I said, okay, if hey, they saw something we didn't. We gonna see. That's what it was. And like you said, there is no shade to Chris Rodriguez Jr. at all. But I said once this game starts, we gonna know why they made the decision that they did.
Yeah,
they knew something that we did not, and we got him back. We got
him back. He here now.
We got him back. In. Or it's more of the locking in on what are the weaknesses on the Lions defense, because we saw Austin Eckler do some great things.
He looked good too, man.
Austin Eckler looked like he was back. Vintage Austin Eckler. Then you saw Jeremy McNichols. Let's not write Jeremy up. You saw the run game as a whole get back.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably more so of exposing the deficiencies on the Lions defense and putting players in spots in which they're going to be successful. But Brian, overall, to your point, that's Brian.
Yeah.
That confidence was back. It was just immediately, as soon as he got the rock, he was gone. He knew exactly what it was. He could see the field clearly. He looked comfortable. He looked happy. He was himself again.
Yeah. He was B-Rob. If you look at the run, B-Rob 15 carries, 77 yards, averaging over 5 yards a carry. Eckler 6 carries, 47 yards, averaging 7.8 yards a carry. And then you got JD5 who ran the football 16 times and had about 51 yards. So to your point, the running game was definitely it was honestly. That was the Commanders we saw to be in the season that went on that was the team that we needed to see.
That's the Cincinnati.
That was the Cincinnati, Arizona. That was done. Because they ran the football, won the time of possession. I always said this, when you got the Eckler B-Rob combination and it's going well, that is Commanders football. When they're running the football, those two, and they're at their level, not playing timid. They're playing their style of football. That's Commanders football. And then now you got Jayden off of that. And I've said this, Jayden has become such a better passer over as the season's gone on in terms of pocket presence that he's even getting better. So you add that with what Jayden was in the beginning of the season, and Jayden was using more of his physicality, his skill set, his athletic ability. Now I feel like Jayden's even, he knows all these defenses. He knows all the blitzes. You can't throw a blitz and he ain't comfortable. He's comfortable. So now you got a better passing pocket, Jayden Daniels, with this run game, with his element of playmaking ability with his legs, man. This offense, and you got receivers who are now playing better football, and Zach Ertz is in his bag as well. Man, this offense is on a whole different level right now.
I had to tell 86 because now I'm starting to call them by their numbers. I don't know. Okay. Zach Ertz. I had to literally tell him what I posted. I said, Zach, I thought you were being evaluated for a concussion. And the next thing I knew, you was.
He did look like it, though. He did like he was on a concussion. He looked real.
No comment. All I'm saying is he was being evaluated for a concussion. And then he was scoring a touchdown. And I was like, what? Okay. All right. Olamide also was dealing with an injury. He had gone out the game for a bit with a growing injury. He comes back in. I want to understand, did y'all see the muscle that was out there doing that onside kick?
No, I ain't paying attention to onside kick. I was doing superstitious stuff, man.
Well, whenever you get a chance, whenever the All-22 come out, or you watch the TV version, you need to pay attention to who was out there on that onside kick.
Okay. I'm sure Terry. I'm sure he got real hands, dudes like Terry.
Terry, Zach, Olamide, Bobby Wagner was out there.
Bobby was out there. Okay.
Yes.
Zach hurt his ribs.
I said, "Oh well." I mean, he was fine walking out.
I'll say this, man.
He could have, but he could have.
I'll say this, man.
Finished the game, and he
Indian Lake, Ohio. I will say this, like, it's not that he was. I mean, probably could have been his ribs. He always looks like when he gets hit, he looks a little woozy though.
All the time. But he definitely he was in the locker room. It wasn't that no one could talk to him.
Oh yeah.
So maybe coach has an update if he did injure his ribs, but he went out of the game to be evaluated for a concussion.
Okay. And what's up, John? John said very fortunate for the ball to bounce up into Ertz's hands like he dribbled it.
I mean, it looked it almost looked like the play was set up for Olamide to get it.
Yeah.
But it didn't, so Zach did, which was fine. But once I saw the muscle they had out there, I said, oh, they're going to get this football.
Yeah, man.
It's not normally like that. That's not normally the setup on onside kicks, but this is a different situation.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, like you said, there's so many great players, so many players who had great performances last night. It was a great night if you're a Commanders fan, just to watch and see how this team as a whole could just go into Detroit, a team that everybody thought it was going to smash Washington. And again, like I said earlier, to start this show, but on the flip side, to be the one to smash, the big bullies on the block, it has to make you feel a certain way, man. So big ups to the players, but for you, Candi, I do want to ask you this question: Who for you was your unsung hero of last night's game?
I mean, I think
we named a lot of people. That's why
we named a whole lot of people already. I mean, but for me, I think it was Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was Brian Robinson Jr. because it was B-Rob, because that run game had to get back, and he was the one who he started that trench, and I see somebody mentioning Trent Scott, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Let's also talk about Trent Scott. Remember when you talk about
HBCU, you gotta say HBCU when you say
HBCU, just recently an MBA from Grambling State University. So he's also a member of Omega Psi Phi, which is me as a woman of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Yep.
That's like our brother organizations, bros. So you always got to show them love. He's a great human as well. All great humans in that locker room. So the thing about Trent, if you really think about it, it becomes that's, if you ever say, Jayden Daniels' first touchdown.
Oh yeah.
Ever was to Trent Scott.
Yeah.
It was that Cincinnati game.
Yeah.
Right. And Trent Scott has been plugged in. We talk about the versatility of this offensive line, and we talked about the injuries they've had to deal with. And Trent Scott has been able to be put in wherever needed and produce each and every time. So that is the epitome of a next man up mentality, the importance and showing the importance of depth on a roster. And I definitely think it's a lot of things that we learn from just having this elite, smart, know what to do. And that's what's up. Tell my soul. My soul I say hello. And one of the things that as a media core, as well as, a fan base hadn't really seen, and that is the importance of depth. It's football. Somebody going to get hurt. Okay. So I think that's just, it's a brutal sport. So to be able to have a roster where you can still produce the same level is important. And Trent Scott, it was amazing. B-Rob is still mad because he got that run game going, and we saw when you went down the stats of that run game, and Jayden Daniels not having to be the leading rusher. I know really showed the balance of his skill set and really showed the balance of all the things that he does well. He didn't have to focus one way, so this truly be the, can we say it, elite player that he is when he's this season, to really showcase his talent. Everybody was able to be their best. That's what I love, right? I saw somebody mention Mikey. I tell people all the time, DBs that used to be receivers, that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, I would say it's Paul. Mikey ain't unsung, so I will get to that one.
Yeah, Mikey. Yeah,
I mean, ain't unsung.
Well, I think maybe he's not unsung because Mikey, that was big.
Yeah, he just big. That was just big. That was just
he got on the game ball. So
that's like he a game ball type dude. Like,
and B-Rob probably isn't unsung either, right?
But I think B-Rob could be. I reason why
from a run game perspective. But we saw he scored a touchdown. Jeremy McNichols scored a touchdown. Austin Eckler had some power plays. So that run game overall, was tremendous. Trent Scott though coming in for Sam Cosmi and not missing a beat is a great answer. For sure. Yeah. And I would say hey, shout out to special teams. We don't give a shout out to the special teams. Nick Ballore and others, they were running the starting field position game for sure. And I enjoyed that. I'm a special teamer. So
yeah, I know you are. Definitely are. Johnson, B-Rob had some nice holes to run through. Eckler did too. Yeah, it's definitely better than what they saw in Tampa. That's why I think a lot of time, I think folks were being a little bit too hard on Eckler and B-Rob. Well, B-Rob especially, because those run lanes against Tampa were horrible. Like, that was not, the offensive line didn't do their job, to be real with you. They didn't really do their job. John said, those Detroiters felt mixed emotions since Mikey went to Michigan. Of course. And look, John, I'm a Michigan fan. I knew what time it was. I was on Mikey. I was with Mikey on Demon Time. Like, I was like, all right, you gotta go. You got Amazing Blue returning. Oh yeah, he about to show Detroit them lines what time it is. You know what I'm saying? Christian said Earth's hands are so damn good. They are, man. Zach Ertz's hands are so reliable. I know he isn't going to rumble for too much yards at the catch. Yes, we know that because he's older. He's not the same dude, but those hands are magic, unsung hero. I think Zach Ertz can go on that list, definitely. Definitely can go on that list. Definitely can. Special teams energy was off this. I
want to say another unsung hero is probably Jeremy Chin.
Yeah,
Jeremy Chin had a phenomenal game. He's had a phenomenal season.
Yes, he has.
I have asked Coach Quinn about Jeremy on several occasions when we talk tackling margin and just how he tackles. Right? Because he's tackling, but it's safe. His approach it looked like it hurt for real, but it is completely safe, if that's the thing, which apparently it is. But he got that last pick too. He got that last interception to be like, let's go ahead and get this ball back so we can go into victory formation and go home. Yeah. I'm very, very happy for Jeremy Chin.
I am. Yeah. Here you go. Hammer. John Hammer. Yeah, Chin is a demon. Chin is a demon. Everybody, okay, Joyce. Oh, you're talking about. I'm not watching that game. Yeah, Chin. Yeah, Christian from the UK. What's going on? Christian says Chin agree 100%. Hope he is with us long term. Definitely. I definitely hope so too as well. Definitely hope so.
Ooh. What's the score in the Philly game?
I don't know. They people.
They already started. The game has started.
Yeah,
They
I
already
ain't worried
started.
about. Yeah, Jade. Yeah, I guess he scored. I'm not watching that game. Can you talk about? Yeah, I guess.
I saw Marshawn.
Yeah, that's what you kind of want to talk about. Yeah.
Too. Oh, it's 7-0.
It's 7. I just started, man. Come on, man. Relax, man. Oh yeah, Marshawn Lattimore shut down the side, open up opportunities for the other guys. Unsung hero is Marshawn, man. Can we talk about him? Because after all the talk about him.
And I was going light on him. Remember, I kind of went light. I was like, hey, look, everybody. Okay? He's injured. This is somebody who's not 100%, but you're seeing progress.
Can we give my man his flowers?
Which then goes back to everybody. Just if you want me to find out what kind of flowers Adam Peters like, I can find that out for you. Okay, you would like to send him some flowers. Because men like flowers too. All right, men like flowers. All right, so this is another Adam Peters. Add in, and that hamstring is tricky.
Yeah,
that hamstring is very tricky, but he got it out of it healthy. Yet another game healthy. It was full again last week. Of course, as everyone knows, played very well, but everybody was giving him a hard way to go. Yeah. But again, you look at the times where he has had a challenge. You look at the receivers that he's covering. This is AJ Brown and then Mike Evans, right? Yeah. So whom everybody he's got a rapport with, of some sort.
Especially Mike Evans.
And so, exactly. And so they're going to call some of these things. But shout out to Joe Witt Jr., who we saw just interviewed with the Jets. But shout out to the coaching staff for adjusting. Because even when he struggled, the team still won the football game. And I was like, I'm using my clues on this one. Like, ooh, wait a minute. Because there's been moments where Marshawn has struggled, of course, getting those DPIs. Yeah. The team still ends up winning the football game. That's actually kind of scary. Because that means once he gets settled and continues to feel stronger, right? And just his trajectory up from dealing with the injury, this could get really good. Yeah. And we all saw that on display last night.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy for him. And he's an Ohio State Buckeye, which hurts my soul. I see you, John. You a Penn State dude. It's okay. I mean, y'all went farther than us this year, so it's all good. But I was happy. But I just like the way I like his mentality. I like his mentality. I mean, he gets it. That's how he's supposed to play like football. It's not like no knock. I ain't throwing no other player on the bus. I ain't gonna mention no other players. But a lot of players, some players on this team, like they let the next play like hurt them throughout the game. And it's one thing about anything about having Marshawn Lattimore in the building, I think he can teach folks, and you can see him as an example of how the next play doesn't bother him, how he's still out there being physical. Like just because you call a PI on him or something like that, it ain't changing the way he's gonna play. So I do like that about him. Like he believes in himself thoroughly. He believes he's one of them. He believes he's one of them. He believes he's him, and I'm cool with that. Like as long as you go in a situation and you're not second guessing yourself, and you can tell when someone's timid on the football field. Mm-hmm. He's not, and I'm cool with that. So I am happy that he had a good game. He deserves it, and you can't any argument here. Like I said this before, like especially when you're coming back from a big hamstring injury. Yeah, you got to go see AJ Brown. You got to see AJ Brown and them, or you got to see a Mike Evans now. And don't get wrong, like Detroit got dogs too at wide receiver. They got Amon-Ra and Jamison Williams is open every time he goes deep. I would lie to you not. But he stood his ground with all of that. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. And John said this. He said Mike Evans is a Hall of Fame. Brown might be. They are going to get theirs. Definitely agree. That gives us so much potential, even if he's has trouble once in a while matching up with someone like that. Yeah, I mean Lattimore again. The PI he got on Mike Evans. Mike Evans like literally dragged his head down and got away with it. They pushed him down and got away with it. And they called PI on Lattimore. Whatever, it is what it is. That's today's NFL. AJ Brown was doing a lot of like drag. He grabbed got his collar and dragged it down. Got a PI for that. So they use little tricks to kind of get over, and which annoy me. But at the end of the day, like Lattimore is still around. It's not getting burnt. He's around. He's playing physical. I'm cool with Lattimore. I'm not mad at the way he played. I think again, you can see a difference with Lattimore on the field compared to everybody else. So that's how I look at it.
They still won those football games.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
good point, Ken. They still won those football games. Those football games.
Those DPIs and those moments of him struggling it wasn't a factor in the game because the Commanders still got the win.
That's a very good point.
That's what I would always be like, this is a different situation. I'm using my clues. These people are on a different type of time.
Yeah, that's a really good. Yeah. I like that. I like that assessment, to be real. That's an excellent assessment. They still winning games, so don't really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So, Candi, for you, which players, coach, you can player or coach, deserves all the flowers? Their game ball or whatnot. Who deserves all the flowers? Player, coach, go in there where you want to.
Cliff. I would say Cliff. But I also want to give a shout out to Dan Quinn. What he's doing to lead these players. We talk a lot about Adam Peters and Dan Quinn. Adam, they all work together. All the coaching staff works together. But he has really preached the brotherhood, the connection, the anybody, anywhere, anytime. And they believe in that. They love Dan Quinn. He loves them. And he's authentic. They trust him. He gets the best out of everybody. He just aligns. And he just gets it. I think this is a person that we all can learn from in just our lives in general, because
I like that.
He has learned from his mistakes. Leaders make mistakes, everybody. Leaders make mistakes. People make mistakes. It's what do you do with that mistake? How do you take that lesson learned, take that hit, take that hurt, and turn it into something positive? And for Dan Quinn to come in and do what he has done in a year, on the field with his team is incredible. It is incredible. I would have to think he's one of the candidates for NFL Coach of the Year.
He should be NFL Coach of the Year. I only like candidate. He should be Coach of the Year.
Yeah. I mean, you overhauled half of a roster.
Yeah.
But gave everybody a shot. Let's be clear now. Yeah. Everybody had to compete for their position on this roster. Right? And it wasn't like he just said, Diami, you ain't my guy. I ain't pick you, so you got to get out of my office. Terry, I didn't pick you. B-Rob, I didn't pick you. You got to get out of my office. It wasn't that at all. Deron, J.A., I didn't pick y'all. Quan, got to get out of my office, right? Yeah. Tress, Jeremy Reeves. We don't talk about Jeremy Reeves, right? Cosme. Before the season, it lets you know how important they took that offensive line role by signing Sam Cosmi to that extension before the season starts. I keep all my receipts, y'all. So I know what they have done and what they've put into and how they're moving to really lay the foundation for how this organization moves every single day going forward. And this is incredible.
Yep.
From 4-13 to the NFC Championship is unheard of.
It's unreal.
It is unheard of. The only coach in the franchise in their first season as the head coach have won 2 playoff games. Incredible what he is doing, what he has done, because he works with Adam Peters closely to construct this roster. And it really has to align to that culture. The love that they showed Doug Williams. I told Doug last night, I said, you did this, right? Did everybody see how the whole team had on 17 t-shirts? They loved Doug. Doug never got this kind of recognition in the past. He didn't. I'm there. I'll tell you, he did not. So for him, so DQ, somebody, I asked him what kind of flowers he liked too.
Yeah, tell him. I like. It's okay. It's okay. Jayhawk gave y'all the game. It's cool though. It's okay. We're going to NFC Championship game.
I did a show last week and I said, hey, look.
Thank you.
The defense needs to get to Jared. Rattle Jared. They might make it out. They might. I wasn't predicting a win because I've been predicting against them all season and it's working.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep that same energy.
Keep that energy like hey, I do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, give take all the same.
Now, guess what? We got this press conference at 3:30.
Yeah, let me get you out of here. Yeah, in terms, I'm gonna stroll these joints down, so we can get her out of here because she got a press conference to hit up. DQ, definitely. My man Deluxe says De'Ami Brown. Agree with that. Jayden, obviously Indian Lake, Ohio. I'm with that. So Jayden can get all the loves, man. Jayden can get all the loves.
He's everywhere. He is the face. He is one of for sure the faces of the league. And
definitely. Jayden is. Okay, before we let you go, how can folks catch you on social media? And also tell our viewers about your show Monday, which you'll be talking about this game and your experience last night.
Yeah. At CWall SE on X or CEO CWall on Instagram, but definitely please you all follow subscribe to Bowie TV on YouTube. Absolutely just subscribe there. Follow Bowie TV Sports on X and IG. Yes, I will be doing a show. I'm not doing it tonight because I have to pay attention to the Ravens. Bowie TV also covers the Ravens.
I do that too.
Yes, we gotta do that too with Rita Park. So Monday night, 7:30, I do in live, very similar, just same format.
Yeah.
And I, talk to everybody, share everything from what I experienced, what we've seen. And of course, at this point in time, we'll all know where the team will be traveling next week. Therefore, we're out.
Yeah.
This is about to get even more stressful because I'm like, at this point now you got to deal with the league. So this is they made it the big boy status. Now it's like your team has made the NFC Conference Championship. Congratulations. Now this is what your next steps are. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? So, we got it last year with the Ravens when they made the AFC Conference Championship, but it was a little different. That's Karita's lane. I've never covered the Ravens on site or ever, you know what I mean? I know, of course, but because of her. But this one hits different.
Yeah, this vibe. I'll say this, man, before we let you go. And first, subscribe to the Bowie TV YouTube channel right now. Also, subscribe to the Urban Sports YouTube channel right now. If you're on our YouTube channels, hit that red subscribe button. Don't hesitate. Do it right now. And also like each video, like the video here and like the video on the Bowie TV YouTube channel as well. But I'll say this: the vibe growing up in this area, we all grown up in this area. Ain't nothing like when this team is winning, especially like, and we said this earlier. We had this discussion on our post game show that folks don't know. Like, we used to be the cream of the crop in the NFL, and if you're young enough, like you in your early 30s or whatever, you never experienced that. Like I experienced, we were the crop. We were one of the blue bloods of the NFL. You know what I mean? And when this team is winning, this sports town is a different vibe. And I mean, not just winning, I mean dominant winning. It's a different vibe. I'm telling you, it is a different vibe. So I'm glad.
You saw, who was it? I think Tom Wilson. Did Tom Wilson have on a Bobby Wagner jersey? Ovi had on
Ovi had like a.
Well, Ovi had on a Jayden Daniels jersey. I think
probably Tom Wilson. I'm guessing Tom
had
Wilson
on a Bobby Wagner jersey. Yeah. I mean, Kevin Durant was at the game with a B-Rob jersey on. Like, people, they coming out the woodwork. Like we never gone nowhere, but. It's
back though. We outside again. We outside again. So it is dope. Outside. But again, like Candi mentioned, make sure you pull up to our Ravens versus Bills NFC Divisional round pregame show. It's the Urban Sports Scene and also Bowie TV Ravens pregame show. So make sure you pull up. That's at 5:30 p.m. It'll be streaming live on our YouTube, IG, and X and Facebook accounts. Also, like I mentioned, it'll be streaming on the Bowie TV YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG, and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Again, hit that red subscribe button while y'all on here for both channels. I'm waiting for y'all. All right, thank you. Appreciate you. All right, check out the Urban Sports Scene website, which is www.urbansportscene.com, man. Appreciate all y'all for chiming in. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. Yedig deuces. We in the NFC Championship game. Can y'all believe that? We out.
Peace.